So now the question is that how you can identify the risk, because ultimate risk is risk. So ultimate everyone want to be mitigate the risk. Mitigate means minimize the risk. So minimizing the risk, it is called risk management. What is the risk management? Risk management is a simple process which is used for identifying, assessing and the mitigating the vulnerabilities and the threats. Both means going to be mitigate the vulnerabilities and threats. Mitigate means minimizing, lower of the vulnerabilities and the threats. Okay, so there is a lots of the process happened, lots of the type of the mechanism or the methods are available for identifying the vulnerability, assessing the vulnerability, assessing and identifying the threats and mitigating them. So the whole known posture assessment, known as a posture assessment. So what is the posture assessment? For the example, I want to identify, assessing and mitigating the security risk. So someone told me, please use the NIST framework or use any framework. So when you follow these guidelines, your security will be minimized. So these guidelines known as a compliance means verifying the compliance, having the good healthy policy while checking the host health check. Means when you are going to access any computer, so you will identify this is under which compliance, like what is the policy has been used. So when you will identify the policy, then you will check their health, means as per policy the health is good or not. Okay, so what is the enterprise risk management? Similar. Risk management means process to identify, assessing and mitigating the risk, vulnerability and threats. Then whatever you have the framework, then you will have to do the comparison your framework with the standard framework. So all of you know about the standard, because standard means having the predefined policies, procedure and guidelines, and also use of the security controls, means you will have to control the security. Security control having the different type of the controls, like managerial control do by the management, operational control and the technical control. Because technical control only the control the software, hardware, and operational means do the operation and do the management. So all the three security controls are available. So these security controls are used for the risk management. Okay, so now everything is fine. So whatever the ultimate goal of this cyber security or the risk assessment, to mitigating the risk. So when the risk will be mitigated or the lower risk, so lower risk always good for the organization. The ultimate processes are used known as a process assessment, means whatever the process you are using known as a process assessment. So process assessment has a three main things, or the one is a mission essential function, business impact analysis, business continuity plan. So essential function means if there is any type of the attacks happen, so is there is any activity do the in a critical condition to be deferred for anything more, not is go, it may be the for few hours, like if there is any attack, like there is a DOS attack, so is there is any essential function do you have? Yes, of course, enable the black hole or the sinkhole. So what is the black hole and the sinkhole we will discuss later, but this is just a essential function which is going to be start essentially as soon as possible. Another is a business impact analysis, means if any type of the incident happened or risk happened or attack happened, so the impact on the business, means if there is any attack happened, so how much impact of that attack on the business it is necessary to identify. So this is a systematic activity that it identifies the organizational risk and determine their effect on ongoing mission critical operations. Your business must be continue. Your business will not be impacted or will not be stopped by any type of the attack. So whatever the plan you have, that plan known as a business continuity planning. For the example, if there is a any disaster happened, I am not going to cyber security or the attack. I am going to talk about any type of the disaster, like your building caught fire. Your building caught fire. So what you have the business continuity plan. So what in this case, like sometime before the corona impact happened all over the world. So business continuity, what was the business continuity plan? Work from home. So most of the organization start this work from home. So the business continuity was remain the continue. Business remain the continue at that time. So now the question is a vulnerability. What is the vulnerability? Because we have discussed about the vulnerability. Vulnerability is nothing, just a weakness. Weakness in a system or the misconfiguration and do the practice, poor practice or any type of the fault in the cyber code, software code. So in this case, the vulnerability exists, like there is a misconfiguration. For the example of the misconfiguration, like you need to share the folder /home/pub, okay, public folder, but by mistake you shared the / folder. So this is the misconfiguration. Everybody can go inside the Linux system and they can delete any files. Means also shared with the read and write permission, all the full permission. So this is the misconfiguration and this is known as a vulnerability or any type of the fault inside the code. So these vulnerability can be exploits. Exploits means code or the method which is used those vulnerability for the malicious purpose. These known as exploits. So there is a different type of the vulnerabilities and exploits are exist. The more danger vulnerability known as a zero-day vulnerability. Zero-day vulnerability is the vulnerability which is unknown. Unknown by hacker, unknown by you, unknown by any organization. So these zero-day vulnerability exploited by the hacker means new discovered vulnerability and then exploit it because there is a no patch available for this vulnerability. So what is the patch? Patch means is a short code, which is going to be finish the vulnerability. But if the system is a unpatched, means having the vulnerability, or the old system, so there is a possibilities of the vulnerability and exploit is more. So now the ultimate, the what is the whole process, how will you identify the vulnerabilities, how many vulnerabilities are exist in your system. So this is a process to finding the vulnerabilities inside the system, and this process known as a vulnerability assessment. So what is the vulnerability assessment? Means do the scanning and find out the vulnerability. It has the two types. One is a manual, means you will have to identify the code manual, read the code manual, and then find out the vulnerability. Either you can do it by the automated. Automated means there is a software are used to finding the vulnerabilities. Identify the deviation from the configuration baseline. Configuration baseline means the lowest configuration or the configuration in a starting, when you are going to be identify the what is the baseline for the. So there is a common vulnerability and exposures. For the example, there is a hackers are exist in the worldwide. There is a security researcher are available in the worldwide. So what security researcher are doing, security research, finding the new vulnerability, writing their exploit, and writing their patch, and then post these vulnerability on a specific location. So what is the profit of this location? Everybody in the worldwide able to access this vulnerability, and they can make their system harden and strong. So these common place where all the vulnerabilities and exposures are found, it is called CVE. So what is the CVE? CVE just a common vulnerability or exposure, a location where all the type of the CVE are exist. So CVE is written like 2014, means this vulnerability is discovered in a 2014, and the number was 6271, and the detail is available here, current description. Now the question is this: if you want to find out or you want to access this vulnerabilities or the new if you want to check the new common vulnerability, so where you will find, you need to search the CVE dot. So this is the common location where you can search for the vulnerabilities. Here is the search CV list, and you can put simple like Windows 11. You need to write the here any name, means if you want to identify the vulnerabilities or known vulnerabilities related to Windows 11, so you will search like Windows 11, and in a 2020 there is a lots of the vulnerability was discovered, starting from here DLL hijacking, improper, and much more. For the example, if you again like there is a one firewall, well known firewall is a Palo Alto firewall, and search, so you will find out there is a lots of the vulnerability exist in a firewall, Palo Alto firewall. And also if you want to check for the switch vulnerability inside the switch, vulnerability inside the any operating system, and what is the benefit of this, like this I am going to click on this vulnerability. So here is a description of this vulnerability, and here is a disclaimer where you can just open in a link where you will find not much information are available here, but here is a some reference are giving where you can just click on this link where you will got all the information related that type of the vulnerability. Okay, there is a other references also are providing. So that is the reason you can go and finding the vulnerability, read about the vulnerability, and exploit also available here. These exploits can be used to do the vulnerability or exploit the vulnerability. Okay. Okay, so also you will get some other information here, and everything you can just use this CVE for finding the new vulnerabilities.